Welcome all. In this video, I'm going to talk about the key and quick solution in a few days to get rid of coronavirus epidemic. Coronavirus has specific terms. I'm only a student that saw something and performed it, and it's up to you to take it or leave it. As you all see, we are all forced to stay at home, old or young, boss or subordinate. Countries collapse in front of this virus, which is not seen with the naked eye. We have to think seriously. Stay with me to end of this video to see if the solution I suggested will work or not. I will give you an example. As we all know, in the world there is an enemy, right? Now we all know that our only enemy in this planet is the coronavirus. No one can deny this. Since this virus became in all around the world, that means we are all in the same situation and in the same trench. Because of that, we should all unite to eliminate it. As the prophetic tradition says, the believers in their mutual kindness, compassion, and sympathy are just like one body. When one of the limbs suffers, the whole body responds to it with wakefulness and fever. Sure, we all know that the whole immune system heads to the infected place to eliminate the virus. So, we all as a human being in the same situation on this earth, we have all together to hit and fight this fierce virus. But it seems like this virus is much stronger than us, and some of the greatest countries collapsing in front of it, unable to do anything. That's why self-defense has become useless. That's why we have to take another path, which is making truce and peace and deal with it. Agree on a specific solution. And of course, it has some conditions that must be adhered to, because the virus now is way stronger than us. As long as this virus doesn't speak with us, it works without speaking, doesn't speak our language, and we couldn't understand its language to communicate. That means it's impossible to deal with the virus itself. It's impossible to deal with something we can't even see. For example, I have a cell phone, and one time I got mad because of something and I threw it to the ground. A little of it was broken. When I turned it back on, it worked, but after 10 minutes the battery overheats. For sure, I won't start negotiating and talk to the phone as an item. So, it's axiomatic to take the cell phone to its factory. If I have Samsung mobile, I'll take it to the Samsung agency for sure. The primary factory for this type of mobiles. However, in the factory, when they know that I'm the main reason why this phone is broken, the warranty is no longer covering, because the warranty doesn't cover misuse. That means I'm the main reason why this mobile is broken. As long as there was a discussion, I admit my mistake, concede, and pay the repairing cost. In this example, we knew that negotiating with the virus is no longer useful, and attacking the virus is useless as well, because it's stronger than us on this earth. We have to communicate with the creator of this virus. To know what are the conditions to get rid of this virus and why it's sent. As I said in a previous video, that people are divided into 3 sections. The first one goes with science and research, the second one goes with religious trend, and the third section is stuck in the middle, don't know which way to follow. Whoever went with the science started to explore and invent and forgot that he's on this planet still knows nothing. That means there's a creator for this earth and all other planets. And the other one took the religious perspective superficially. He didn't go deeply in it and didn't take the religious texts seriously and worked on the main religious texts. we started to take religious information from each other without referring to the main religious texts. And the people in the middle, as we said, they have no clue where to go. Whoever went with the science and invention, now unable to provide anything, as well for those who went with the religion. And the people stuck in the middle already don't know what to do or where to go, which side they have to follow, or separated between two sides, or supporters for either side. Now we are all helpless and can do nothing. Basically, we were misunderstanding. So now we have to go to the main source of this virus. If you thought that this virus is designed and become out of control, or designed for reasons you don't know, or sent to us due to our failure to comply with the laws of this planet, then now we want a quick solution, like a fire burning something. Will you start asking who started that fire? Or will you turn it off and then start your investigations? Our duty towards ourselves, our kids, neighbors, and our country is to complain to God and admit our mistakes and ask forgiveness, whatever the reason of this virus was for. At first, each person should forgive himself and forgive every other person hurt him or was a reason of spreading hate between each other. I'm saying this in terms of logic, truth, science, and religion. All I mentioned support what I said. Whoever studied psychology knows the value of these facts. You can't imagine the effects of sending love for anyone, especially for those who offended you. As Jesus says, love your enemies, bless those who curse you, do good to those who hate you, and pray for those who spitefully use you and persecute you. Why don't we appreciate the value of these words? Why not take it into consideration and seriously? Now we are all in the same ship. It doesn't make sense that we are all in a sinking ship and we are fighting on 2 kilos of sugar. The logic says we need to find a solution to save ourselves. It's a good chance to make use of this time for the sake of supplication to God. Why do we remember that we only need God's help in the bad times or in crises of this kind? Let's say we were wrong and ignorant. Now we figured that out. Why are we stubborn? Why each one doesn't start with his own self? As some philosophers say, God is infallible from speaking to people directly. The proof of this thing throughout history and ages. God was sending prophets and messengers to teach people the laws of God. So it's impossible through this time God speaks to someone directly. That means God is waiting to see what we are going to do. Short story, in one of soap factories, the manager found out that some of the soap boxes are empty. And this causes some problems with the customers. He met the engineers to figure out a solution for this problem. They suggested that he has to pay millions of dollars to get an X-ray device to scan the empty boxes and another device to remove them aside. Very expensive solution. A regular employee heard this conversation. This employee went to the manager and told him, I have a solution and it won't cost you more than $50. A really cheap price compared to millions of dollars. Are you serious? The manager asked. The employee answered, yes, and I will prove it to you. Get a fan and put it on the production line. The box with soap in it will pass, and the empty one, the fan will remove it. Simple and logical words. Maybe what I'm going to say is simple, but it might work. As the popular saying, he puts his secret with his weakest creature. And I suggested an idea will cost us nothing. Let every person work by himself. No one will lose anything. I will show you some analysts talking about the effects of this situation materially and morally.
ما نعيش فيه اليوم هو تخبط عالمي. من المسؤول عن هذا الوباء؟ من عرقل المحاربة له؟ من استفاد واستغنى على حساب أرواح الناس؟ لن يكون هنالك أوضاع طبيعية بعد انتهاء الحرب على الكورونا.
نحن أمام تحدي كبير تواجه البشرية. أزمة الكورونا ستؤدي إلى كارثة اقتصادية. أزمة النفط جزء من الفوضى العارمة الموجودة في هذا النظام العالمي. إذا لم ننقذ عالمنا نحن كلنا سنغرق. كيف ننقذ هذا العالم؟ كيف ننقذ هذا العالم قبل أن ينهار؟ والانهيار في نظري قريب إذا لم نتخذ الإجراءات المطلوبة وبسرعة.
È stato detto che le bare non sapevano più dove metterle e dare una carezza.
Spreading fear. I speak logically and rationally, sharing my idea, and it will cost you nothing if you apply it. Share this video to all people you know. Be a change in this world. God sent you to be His successor on earth. Submit this work. Be a reason in changing. And of course, there will be a volunteers doing good deeds, anxious to save this world, are going to translate this video to English and many other languages and share it. Each starts from himself. Do what you can and leave everything else to God. If you depend on someone else and He depends on someone else. If we all depend on each other, then this is a problem. That's why God said, every soul will be held in pledge for its deeds. Every human being takes what he did. No mediation, nothing, based on your work only. It's okay if you don't have money. It's okay if you don't have money for charity. If you received this video, share it. This is enough. I'm not saying bad speech or inviting you to unbelief. I'm less than you. I'm the least person. I'm inviting you to worship God. Share it. Perhaps this video reaches to decision makers, and the course of these events is changed. God knows. Do your job. and leave everything else to God? Or might our prayers be answered by God? If you received this video, dear viewer, know that you will be a reformer and one of the owners of forgiveness and mercy, and you will get your reward for this work sooner or later. If you applied what I have said before and sent a pure love to all people. Don't you feel that we are all staying at home as if it's a chance, a message, or a reminder to offer our complaint to God if we were oppressed, and present our apologies and ask forgiveness if we were unjust? When God asks you one day, and we all know the day of reckoning must come, as long as you were weak and oppressed, why don't you present your complaint to me, knowing that you can complain to me even if you were shackled and imprisoned? And if you were unjust, why don't you come to me asking pardon and forgiveness on what you did? What are you waiting for? What will you answer? Will you say you were busy? God will tell you, all people sat in their houses without work. What will you say? You were sleepy? You know what Allah will answer. What will you say? You were hungry? God knows that you heard before. Who trusts in Allah will bless him with something that doesn't count. That means you are not trusting him. That's why you became hungry. What will you say? You don't have money? God will tell you that trusting him and being his protection doesn't need money. What will you say? My tongue cut, or blind, or disabled, etc. Allah will tell you, I gave you internal thinking and untouchable feelings. Anything in this world won't stand in front of it. What will you say? Is it possible if I ask you, my God, you will answer my prayers? He will answer, for many years and nearly every day you were praying for me and you get my response. You will ask, am I really was praying every day and I was answered? How? He will tell you, when I offered you a cell phone and you invite your friend for dinner and he meets your invitation, isn't this an ask and answer? When you were inviting anyone in this world in any moment, you can call him and he answers you. Isn't this a response? If you were doing this nearly every day and you are full of belief and trust that it will come true, then why you were sure that all these calls and invitations will come true, and I'm the one who created everything, the mobile and the creator of the mobile? But you didn't believe that I can hear your prayers. 7 or 8 years ago, I made an experiment and posted an article on Facebook from a book I read before. It's called God's Speech to the Servant. I posted it literally. Nearly no one cared for this post. Really, few people interacted with this post comparing to the people who saw it. I will read you the post. God says, whoever knew me won, and lost whoever denied me. Astonishment for those who stayed away from me and are not free of all times from me. How to get apart, and I'm closer to him than every relative, and closer to him than his jugular vein. Aren't you great human with himself in his construction? The strong in his pillars? Creature from sperm generating sperm, a way out of dirty places. It's placed from the parent's backbone like the marrow to the wombs of women. Then you get my order and become each. If eyes saw you, you will raise nausea. If souls contemplate you, left you. Then, with my power, you become an emperor. No good looks and not useful in the laboratory. Then I send you an order, and you start creating organ after organ and joint after joint out of membrane bones, twisted veins, proportional nerves, and catching associations. Then cover you with muscles and dress you up with leather collected from mixed things and created from different varieties. You will become with my power a creature, powerless, and no soul in you allows you to move. So I breathe soul into you and give you a life. Then you become a human being in my orders. You have no benefit or harm. Do neither good nor evil. Your place from your mother under the navel, as if insisted in abundance, until you get what I have already decided. From there it becomes the widest decision. Then you receive your happiness or misery until your time comes. Tracker, no doubt extinction. Did you create your own self, designed your body, and breathed your soul? God is asking, did you make all of this? If you did this, and you are the humiliating sperm, the weakened leech, and the fetus in the navel, now you have your complete body, all your organs and joints, and your youth, stronger and more capable. Then try to create a new organ. Bring more strength to yourself. If you protected yourself when you were weak and powerless, then try now to push away your illness. Remove all the aches from your body. And if you are the one who gave yourself a soul and had life, then try to push away death if it happened to you, and stay one more day when your time comes. If you are not able for any of that and you failed all of it, then know that you are really a creature and I'm the creator. Know that you are the disabled and I am the one with power. Then know me well and worship me in the right way. And if you thank me for my blessing, I will give you more. If you got afraid of my madness, I exempt you from it. I am God. I don't care what I create, not tired of giving. If I just say to anything to be, it will be. End of the post. I immediately reviewed some thoughts and religious texts I read before. I found as following. I found, through searching in all religions, every religion in all mankind, they admit God's existence. Even the devil himself admits the existence of God. And all the humans acknowledge there is a creator for this universe, and he's fair. God says in the following verses, "And if my servants ask thee about me, behold, I'm near. I respond to the call of him who calls, whenever he calls unto me." So God is near, he is with us. Also says in these verses, "And he is with you wheresoever you may be." We are nearer to him than his jugular vein. That means he exists, but we don't know how to communicate with him. Also, he says, "The Lord is near to all who call on him, to all who call on him in truth." Where could I go from your spirit? Or where could I flee from your presence? If I ascend up into heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in Sheol, behold, you are there. If I take the wings of the dawn and settle in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there your hand will lead me, and your right hand will hold me. All the religions say the same thing. This is just a little part of what I read. Psychologists, after long researches and experiments on many people, discovered the following. All the negative things that happen to you, you are the reason for it 100%, even if you thought you got it from a way you nothing to do with. This is just a thought, but the truth is you are the reason in all the details in your life. Also, in one more religious book, doesn't the servant know that everything stops him in his life, good or bad, is by himself? And what we consider destiny is by himself too? That's how we know that God is communicating with the humans. We are all humans, old or young. We all may make mistakes. There's a text I would like to read. He said that God is fair. What justice is this? If he is sitting after the seventh sky on his throne, he charged us to worship him and know him. Could anyone know what's behind this wall? Which is closer to him than anyone? Is anyone able to see behind the walls? Does anyone have the ability to see behind the walls? We seek refuge in Allah, that we attribute concealment to God. Then, however, He charged us worshipping Him. It's not possible, the fair, wise, and patient God, to force a human to worship Him while God is in the seventh sky. So, the Holy God exists in all existence. The highest percentage of people are seduced by life and forgot to evaluate God with truth. We forgot the existence of the Creator of this universe. God says, and He is Allah in the heavens and on the earth. He knows what you conceal and what you reveal, and He knows what you earn. Never did a message from among their Lord's message come to them, but they turned away from it. Say, travel the earth and observe the fate of the deniers. Have they not considered how many generations we destroyed before them? We established them in the land. This message is addressed to us. We are the ones who established in the land. We are the owners of this land. This is a warning that we have to take care. That in decades before, like Pharaoh's, Ad and Thamud folks, didn't we see them under the ground frozen? Until these days, we are discovering mummies. We have nothing to do with how it's discovered. But this is the reality. They were humans just like us. But because they dominated in the earth and forgot the real creator for this universe, the Lord clips them all. This is a message dedicated to us. The existence of this religious text in these days, saying, have they not considered how many generations we destroyed before them? It's obvious that these words are addressed to us. All religions are for one creator. However, humans' understanding superficially for religious texts led us this far. This is an exam for us. So God see, what will we do with each other? Will we help each other, join hands, and apply divine texts in the right way? Or will we listen to the devil and destroy each other? It doesn't even make sense that God creates us in this land without examinations and questions. The image becomes clear when we realize that this is an exam, and it gets clearer when we return to the religious texts. This is no more than 1% of what's written in the religions. Let's talk logically. If someone traveled to Italy and we closed his eyes and make him taste some sugar, then we asked him to recognize the taste, for sure he will answer, it's sugar. If we took another person to India and he tasted salt while his eyes are closed and asked him as well what this taste is, of course he will answer, the taste is salt. Another person to Malaysia and let him taste some apples while his eyes closed, will he answer, it's bananas? So, who gave all these same names to all the countries all around the world? The sayings are almost similar. Who gave all these names? English and Arabic letters. Is it not the creator of this universe who created a system? When there is revolution and communication, does every country, for example, Italy, send to India a picture of some apples and they agreed to name it apples? Does this make sense? When humanity started, there was no cameras or internet. Where all these names came from? That means there's a creator. If any device is manufactured, for example, a washer, it comes with a catalog to know how to deal with this device. We all read this catalog to find out what it does, as well as the word of God Almighty, our Creator, sent with us a catalog for all religions. I'm not specifying any religion. Each religion has its own rules. You know that all religions have rules. However, through inherited fear from some people and not looking for the truth seriously, things started to turn superficial. Now we started to feel the real value of these words. Just now we started to know the benefits of these religious texts. So this situation is dangerous and out of control. We have to return to the creator of this virus. to admit that He's the real creator of us. We have to pay what we broke. As I saw, even the ozone hole started to close and becomes on its normal rates within 1 or 2 weeks. Now we realized what we did in this earth. Now it's the time to confess that there is a power stronger than us all. We are all in a scale. The father is responsible for his son. The manager is responsible for his employee. The minister is responsible for his consultant. The president is responsible for his minister. And God is responsible for the president. We are in a string linked together. We are all one, in my opinion. As long as the issue is out of control and out of our hands, and there is no longer any difference, we have to calm down and hold a truce and peace, inner peace, between all the countries when we agree with each other, even orally, because now we can't meet in person. We can't even meet. No one can deal with his own brother which is in the same place because of this epidemic. So it's really a sensitive and important situation because we can't make a quick meeting. In my humble opinion, all the great countries connect together and set aside all the disagreements between them, because now the most important thing is to survive. We have to set aside all the disagreement and all sectarianism and non-sectarianism conflicts, political and non-political, because we are all in the same trench. We make an agreement that starting from this day, everyone clears his heart toward the others, and it's important to be a global agreement and published in media so all can hear and participate with this invite. As all people applied home isolation as the government decided, they also will apply the decisions that top side makes, that there is forgiveness between humans. When this thing happens, they choose a day that all people in a specific hour admits that there is a creator for this universe, and ask forgiveness and mercy because we made mistakes. Each one speaks his own language. So, this period of time, the confession is directed to the creator of this universe. Not anything less than God, whatever it was. Prophet, fetish, book, or a crucifix, or anything else we used to pray for before. Our praise should be pure and directed to the Holy God, the creator of this universe, the creator of this book, the creator of this virus, sender of all the prophets. We ask him forgiveness and mercy because we ignored him all this time, unintentionally or intentionally, and we worshipped something less than him and powerless. Just for 5 minutes. After a meanwhile, we wait for an answer. We wait for the response from God. We have to give the virus time to recede. It might not happen in the same day, but we have to wait. We have to give this virus the opportunity to disappear. We have to ask God to calm down on us, because we made many mistakes in this life. Old or young, no one is accused. I'm just a humble person saying his point of view. We'd wait for God's response. I'm just saying this out of right, logic, goodness, and peace all around the world. Within 10 to 15 days, we got no response. Then we go back to the thoughts we had before. It's only word of mouth between each other and pure love between each other. Nothing is written. In case this idea doesn't work, let things return as it used to be. And if this virus disappeared, that's how we know that God responded our prayers and forgive us that we misunderstood him, misunderstood his value. And then this agreement should be on reality, that we apply real peace between all the countries without exception. I said my point of view and return to the religious texts in any language, every person is responsible for himself to look back in his religion texts, and he will discover that all the religious texts were saying the same point and urge the human to be merciful with the others. There is no black and white. This is my message. O God, I bear witness that I have said what's in my heart and all I know, and the final decision is all yours. Stay safe.